Now that the Blue Jays seem to have officially started the rebuild, it's a good time to commence speculation about how long the process will take to return to at least the edge of American League contention. Now is a good time to help out General Manager Ross Atkins and see what positions can be filled from within, then try to guess at what point in the next 3 years the Jays will begin to spend money again on free agents at positions of need, or to make true baseball trades as buyers for fill-in pieces. Vlad Guerrero Jr. at third base will be a cornerstone of the Blue Jays rebuild, now officially underway. Jeffrey T. Barnes, AP, the epiphany for Jays management, knocked off their high horse and blinded by the light of reality, may have come after losing 7-0 to the Tampa Bay Rays on August 10. Read more. Richard Griffin, why Josh Donaldson is no longer part of the Blue Jays' future. Article continued below. Blue Jays acquire reliever Brian Baker to complete trade with Rockies for Sung Win. Blue Jays fall to Royals in Reed Foley's MLB debut. Trays manager Kevin Cash fielded a lineup that included rookies at all 5 infield positions, including catcher. That impressive list included shortstop Willie Adames, first baseman Jake Bauers, third baseman Joey Wendell, second baseman Brandon Lowe and catcher Michael Perez. The Rays have hung around .500 all season during their own rebuild, while the Jays have struggled. Maybe the realization came after Jays third baseman Yanger Vasilarte swung mightily and went down with the right oblique strain, this coming after Brandon Drury had been acquired from the Yankees to play third but suffered a fractured left hand, and after Josh Donaldson had been out with calf tightness for 2 months with no relief in sight. Whatever the moment that actually spurred the process, the fact is that when a pair of rookies, catcher Danny Jansen and starter Sean Red Foley, were written into Monday's lineup to make MLB debuts at the same time, there was no turning back. How can this rebuild avoid a promotion of Vlad Guerrero Jr. to the majors in September if he is to be the opening day third baseman in 2019? Article continued below. Before they can look at how high their ceiling might be in 2020, they'll have to check existing inventory and identify the floor from which they are starting. After this season, the Jays will be shedding $52.5 million in payroll, all dollars US, from their opening day total of $162 million. Then following 2019, there will be an additional $38 million in guaranteed payroll off the books. The only guaranteed contracts remaining for 2020 will be shortstop Troy Tulowitzki at $14 million and infielder Lourdes Gurriel Jr. at $2.9 million. The rest of the roster 2 years hence will either be arbitration eligible or still under club control. With that in mind, let's construct a theoretical roster from players currently in the organization and use that as a floor from which to build a winner. Here is my 2020 vision. Catcher Danny Jansen and Luke Milajanson's path to the majors has always been toward a starting role, and nothing has changed following his debut at Kauffman Stadium. Jansen is considered better on offense than defense, but his improvement in all aspects behind the plate has been on a steady upward curve. Miley is a superior game caller and defender, throwing out more than 30% of base stealers, while his offense has been a revelation in 2018. Infielders Gurriel, 1B, Bo Bichette, 2B, Guerrero, 3B, Troy Tulowitzki, SS, Brandon Drury, Aledmus Diaz, Rowdy Tellez. The Jays can't trade the final 2 seasons of Tulowitzki's contract worth $38 million, which will be a near impossible task. They could do much worse than hanging on to the all-star shortstop as a clubhouse influence, a role he has filled wherever he has played. He can still play if healthy and will just be 35 in 2020. As for the rest, there is no doubt they will keep Guerrero at third base for the beginning of his career, while the belief with the toolsy Bichette is that he might have to shift from short to second in the majors. The biggest stretch is to list Gurriel as a first baseman. He is big enough and athletic enough to play that corner infield spot, and if the lefty hitting Tellez is also on the roster, it would allow Gurriel to play other positions if necessary. With Drury and Diaz on the bench, there would be plenty of versatility to fill in at any infield position. Outfielders Anthony Alford, CF, Randall Grichuk, RF, Teoscar Hernandez, LF, Billy McKinney. Alford, at 24 years old, is still considered one of the game's top prospects, but is taking longer than expected to refine his baseball skills after playing football in high school and college. Alford and Grichuk are legitimate center fielders. Hernandez is the least skilled defensively of the group, but has major league bat speed and needs only to refine his strike recognition. McKinney will still only be 25 years old on opening day in 2020 and has not lost his status as a top prospect, despite being with his fourth organization. McKinney and Tellez are the only left-handed hitters in this projected group of position players. The average age would be 27.5, with just Tulowitzki older than 30. Conclusion: this is obviously not meant to define what the Jays' rebuild will look like when completed. It's a guide to the areas the Jays would need to fill in order to reach the goal they want to attain, in the second half of 2020 or 2021 at the latest. As for free agency, a preliminary count shows more than 30 significant position players will become available after the 2019 season. If the Jays choose not to take advantage and fill in from outside, then the rebuild will continue and fans will flee. Richard Griffin is a sports columnist based in Toronto. Follow him on Twitter, @GriffinStar.